Hello everyone and welcome to Bevan's Bricks, and we are hopefully going to be finishing the Saturn V build tonight. I left off on bag 10 is where I got to start back up. But anyway, I hope you guys all had a great week. I've had quite an experience myself this week, specifically this afternoon. What I mean by that is I just got a bat out of my attic. So it was a very interesting afternoon, to say the least. Kept me on my toes, though, but at least I got the guy out of there. That's all that matters. And I am trying to speed this along as quickly as I can, not as quick as last night. And hey, Brick Sergeant, how are you, buddy? Double checking that my mic is working, and it is. Because I have a bad habit of not remembering to pop the mic on. So far, I think you're the only one on tonight. But yes, you are definitely first. And there's 4 of those. And I'm hoping, at least the plan is anyway, that I'll have this finished tonight. Hey, Greg. Hey, Whiskey. Whiskey. Oh. Anyway, I hope everybody's day has been better than mine has. Let me get that out of the way. We don't want to see a keyboard. We want to see the build. Blinky Bricks says 4th. How you doing, Blinky Bricks? But anyway, what I was starting to say when I first started the stream, we were sitting and eating dinner, and we started hearing this squeak sound. And we're like, what the heck is that? And I ended up going up in the attic, and there was a bat over in the corner. Mind you, it's starting to get dark out already. Well, I don't know if it's because he saw me or if it was because it was getting dark, but either way, the bat went out the hole, which showed me how he obviously got in the attic. So I hurried up, went and grabbed my ladder, threw it up on the side of the house, and I always, because I'm nuts like that, I always have some caulk and things like that around. So I got the ladder. Mind you, the peak, or the overhang on my house, for where I had to get up to is 30 feet in the air, so I got my ladder anyway. Ran up the ladder as quickly as I could and had my wife support it with her feet, and just gobbed caulk in that little gap that I know that he got in and out of. So I'm hoping he won't be back. I'll find out tomorrow morning, though. It's all better now. I'm home and in the Lego barn, man. Nothing can depress me when I'm out here. This is my happy space. And Blinky Bricks, by the way, I just want to say I did get your lights today. And the first thing I did when I got home before all the other excitement is, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there behind me, oh, actually, I guess it's that one. There behind me, that was the first thing I did when I got home, was I put all the parts that are supposed to officially be on that particular set on it, so that way I can do, because Blinky Bricks set a light kit for anybody that wants to build my train station and all that good stuff. I'm going to be doing a video to show people how you do that, and then show you how it looks up or lights up. And I'm basically I'm doing it the way that I feel it should be lit up, because obviously it's not an official set. So this is my official way of lighting up the train station. But I hope if anybody that's out there that has built my train station wants to figure out how to light it up, that would be a good video to show how you can do that. And again, that's by buying some of the lights, the Mills plate lights that Blinky Bricks now has on his website. And which way? That's way. Hey, EG Plays. The Addams Family 2. Did you like that? Is it a good movie? And yes, I am so glad to hear that that arrived quickly and safely. Brick Sergeant. Brick Sergeant had bought some of my products, and it's funny because Greg just bought some as well, that I sell on my website. For those of you that do not know, I do have a website. But they bought some of my products, and they got them today, or at least Brick Sargent got his today. But that, you know, it's funny because Addams Family 2 just came out. Like you just said, you just saw it at the theaters. And the reason I was asking if it's any good, number one, I never even knew there was a part 1, to be perfectly honest. I knew they had movies. I never knew they made a cartoon, and much less to have 2 cartoons. So it just shows you how much, I guess, I'm out of the loop when it comes to TV anyway, and movies. And Mike, I am going to try and get yours out because I got to ship another order out. I'm hoping to get your minifig, my minifig, to you anyway when I ship everything else out. And thank you so much, Greg. That's awesome of you to share that like that. Thank you, buddy. Got those guys on. And where did my... And no worries at all, Greg. Just letting you know that I do see your chat on Discord. Rob says they're making a live action movie, IIRC. You'll have to forgive me. I feel brain dead. What is the IIRC? Grumpy J says another website to take his money. And what am I? There you go. I guess I need to pay attention. And thank you so much, Brick Sargent. Brick Sargent just donated $2. And again, that is awesome of you, my friend. Thank you so much. I'm still waiting on Paul Roos also to get his stuff up, because that's going to be another website that's going to take your money, because he's going to be making all kinds of awesome stickers. But we're waiting for him to get it online so we can talk about it, announce it, and try and get everybody to go and buy it. Oh, if you recall correct. Okay. Like I said, I can be a bit dense at times, so I'll be the first to admit that. And I put that on backwards. And that's great, Kyle. I'm glad to hear that. Always good to have a good day. My day is getting better already, I will say that. And if I can finish this tonight, it will be perfect, because that means tomorrow morning I can get up and start working on that other video that I'm dying to get done. And this now. We are building the jet propulsion system. Greg says, cannot wait to add that to the... We all need to start bugging Paul Roos, Judge Dredd more. Which I know he's a perfectionist, and that is part of the reason why it's taken him so long to get his website up. And if you've seen any of the instructions that he makes, you will totally understand why it's taking him so long to get his website up. Because again, like I said, he is a perfectionist, and I am going to be really excited to show you guys some of the stickers and stuff he's going to be making and selling. Steve Weiser, how you doing, buddy? I never got a chance to call Shane today. I'm going to plan on trying to get a hold of him throughout the week this week. There we go. 1 bag down. 2 to go. The new James Bond. Who is it that they have playing the new James Bond now? Because I had heard a lot of rumors they were talking about different. I even heard that they were talking about having a woman do it, but I can't remember who it was that I thought they actually picked. But I'm always, I don't know. My all-time favorite James Bond was Sean Connery. And then I'm trying to remember who they had after Sean Connery, because I didn't really care for him that much. And I cannot remember for the life of me who it was after Sean Connery. But he, like I said, is for me anyway, and I know it's probably different for different people as far as different age categories, but Sean Connery to me is the number one James Bond. Nobody will ever be better than Sean Connery. Hey Aaron, how are you? And I am doing great now that I am home and building in my barn. I hope you're having a good day as well, my friend. And yes, it is. So like I said, Paul does some amazing stickers. That's all I can say. And like I said, it's quite frankly because he is the best way I can put it, and it's not to be an insult. He's very anal about anything that he works on, which makes everything that he works on really, really good. Get that. You do one more. There it is. Pierce Brosnan. I thought he... Actually, I guess you're right. I think he was after. Yes, you are right. I didn't really care for him, though. Like I said, personal opinion, but I really didn't... I didn't think he was as suave, I guess you could say, as Sean Connery. Or you know what? That's the name I was trying to think of. Roger Moore. He was my to me he came off as cheesy. Pierce Brosnan wasn't too bad. Roger Moore was the one that I was kind of... I mean, he wasn't bad, don't get me wrong. I don't know. I got a cheesy vibe from him myself. Just kind of my opinion. And thank you so much for posting that. And that was my feeling on that also, Rob, what you were saying as far as having a female Bond. I thought, it just... I guess that would borderline on politics, so I'm going to shut up. But I agree with you in the aspect that I feel it should be a man, personally. Because that's, but it doesn't mean they can't change it, so. But, today's world, I can see that being a possibility. But here's the thing I will say. Most, and I don't know how well Black Widow did as far as the box office did, but it always seems like most of the superhero or not sci-fi, what's the word, action type movies that you see that have females in them as the main role, main character, however you want to look at it, it always seems to me like it kind of bombs usually. The only one that I ever saw that I personally thought was really good, and it's because I think, this is my opinion, because she was already a female character in the comic books, is I really, really, really loved Wonder Woman, and I thought that was actually absolutely wonderful myself, how they did that. I thought those were good movies. But most of the other roles that are action films where they have the lead as a female, to me, usually just, I don't know, it's like it just doesn't take on the same effect for some reason. I don't really quite know why. I don't know if it's just because the way they plan it, it's bad, or what it is, but because like even Captain Marvel, because that was a female that played that particular part, and she is a female in the comics too. But I didn't feel that one. For me personally, anyway, I didn't feel it. That would be a cool Lego set, the Addams Family. I totally agree with you. I would so buy that. Lego Joe, hey, how you doing? Grumpy J says shaken, not stirred. Exactly. And it's funny because I remember I do believe it was or maybe it might have been Roger Moore that was in these as well. But all the little innuendos and stuff he used to say, it was absolutely freaking hilarious. And the names of the movies, Octopussy. I mean, come on, that's just freaking hilarious. At least I thought it was hilarious the first time I heard it as a kid. Okay, so it did do really well. That's what I was curious. It's a movie I haven't seen it. That is a movie that I am desperately wanting to see though. But I'm a big fan of Black Widow. I liked her in all of the Marvel movies, so that's one of the reasons I really want to see it. But it didn't mean necessarily that it was going to be a good movie. Anymore lately though, I typically just wait for stuff to come out on DVD because it's easier for me to just watch it on DVD, because most of the movies like that I personally want to see, none of my kids or anything, or my wife for that matter, really wants to see them. She likes some of them, but not all of them. So to me, it's just, especially for the price of a movie anymore these days, I just watch it at home, because typically, like I'm doing right now, I'm watching Lord of the Rings in the background, and I do that a lot with a lot of movies. So to me, I get more bang for my buck out of waiting for it to come out on DVD, so I can watch it over and over and over and over again. But that's me. Not everybody's like that. Some people, it's like they'll watch a movie once and they're done. They don't want to see it again. Where me, if it's a good movie anyway, I will watch the daylights out of it. I'll pick it apart. I'll look for different defects. All different kinds of silly things. And I want red. There we go. Pussy galore. Yeah, exactly. That's why I said I loved the names on all the old James Bond's movies. And I almost wonder, because I don't think they could get away with naming anything like that nowadays. At least I don't think the media would let them get away with it. But to me, that stuff was hilarious. It was classic. How could you not like those movies? And none of the other ones are coming to mind right now, but feel free to share any of the names you can think of. Fast and Furious, I love those. Although I have to say, the new ones I'm not as thrilled about. It seems like they're getting too carried away with, what's the word I'm looking for? What am I looking at? Why does that not look right? I feel like they're getting too carried away with CGI. Just my personal opinion. I love all the original ones. I want to say up to about 7. After 7, I still watch them. Don't get me wrong. I still like them as far as the Fast and the Furious movies. But I ever hear the phrase "jump the shark"? I feel like right around 7 or 8 for Fast and Furious, they kind of jumped the shark a little bit. Just my feeling on it. I still watch them though, so because I think I have all of them up to 10. So they're not too bad. Hey, Scott's Blocks, how are you, bro? Whiskey Shred says, no, we got the real deal in our day. Now it's going... Yes, I agree with you. Aaron says he's seen 1 through 9. And like I said, to me, they're still good movies, don't get me wrong. But like I said, I feel kind of like they jumped the shark around 7 or 8. And Rob was saying that Scarlett won $40 million this week for that, yes. And you know what cracks me up about that? I hear so many people complaining about, oh, she's greedy, oh, she's this, and blah, 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 and it's ridiculous. And you know what? I don't see it that way. I personally feel that they should have, because the way that they wrote the contract, and the contract was wrote before all the current situation and rules and things that are going on, and I personally feel because they did release it like they did, and that was not something they really had going on prior to the release of that movie, I felt that they owed her extra money, because in my opinion they did. There's a lot of people that actually watched it and streamed it from Disney Plus, and I felt she had every right in the world to complain about that and try and get her money. And I'm glad she did, because my personal feeling with Disney is they are an overly greedy corporation. And you know what? Pay the artist. You had them work for you. Pay them what you're supposed to pay them. Don't be cheap. That's my feeling on it. But I do know that most people don't share my opinion or feeling on it. But I think it's great that she won that. That's just my opinion anyway. And yes, losing Paul Walker, you're right, Rob. That is kind of what that took. There was, I don't know. It took the good feel, the good vibe, because there was a real good chemistry, I guess is the word I'm looking for, with all the actors, with Paul Walker when he was part of the group, and when he passed away, I absolutely agree with you. It unfortunately took something away from the movie, and they just. Sadly, they have not been the same ever since. And what the... Oh, I got to flip it upside down. As I say, something doesn't look right, but it's because I've got to flip it. You got to flip it before you whip it. And get on there. Come on. There you go. I'm with you. I totally agree with you, Whiskey. To me, Disney is just... Disney's a great deal like Star Wars in that aspect. And what I mean by that, look at Lego sets, when we're talking about Lego anyway. You want to buy an expensive Lego set? Buy a Disney Lego set, because the Lego has to pay such a huge, and I mean huge, licensing fee in order for them to be able to make it. And it's like, and people want to feel sorry for Disney, and it's like, come on, man, Disney can suck it. Quit being greedy, man. You're supposed to be the happiest place on earth and all this good stuff. And have you ever been to Walt Disney? And you always say it's the happiest place on earth, but you ever notice that most of the kids in there are screaming and crying because their parents are smacking them around because they're not doing what they're supposed to be? How is that the happiest place on earth? And I agree with you. They destroyed the new Star Wars movies. I am not a fan of what Disney did to the Star Wars movies. The first one, in my opinion, was nothing more than a ripoff of the original movie. My opinion. The second one, it was I don't even know what to say about the second movie, the Star Wars movie. It was just total garbage. And the third one, I felt like they kind of tried to redeem themselves a little bit, but I still think they could have done a lot better with the storyline. I mean, it's not bad because they basically just finally killed off and ended the Skywalker portion of it, so now they can open up a whole bunch of channels and do all different types of side movies, and they can have new characters, and they can have new actors, and so I get why they did it the way they did it. But anyway, the moral of the story, like we were originally saying, Disney's greedy. But at least I'm not preaching to the choir, though, because from what I'm reading and what I'm seeing, it seems most people are in agreement with me on the aspect of Disney's greed. That's why I said, well, it's like when she first announced that she was going to do the lawsuit, I was personally blown away by their particular response to her filing a claim. It was like, basically, it was like Disney was saying, how dare you question us, or how dare you, whatever. And it was just like, dude, you screwed her out of her contract. Give her her freaking money where it's due. But from what I heard on radio talk shows and stuff like that, when they announced this morning that she actually won, apparently I figured my opinion wasn't quite what most people's was, because most people were slamming Scarlett Johansson for even thanking to go after Disney for extra money, and she was the greedy one, and it's like, it was a breach of contract, man. They screwed her over. They owed her some money. They can give her that money, and everybody can get over it, but that didn't seem to be the general consensus from what I saw or from what I heard on the radio today when I was listening to some of the announcements. Michael Amelino says, let's all gather around for the Disney Hour. No, because I don't think anybody would really like my opinion on it, considering that I'm kind of bashing them. But, maybe there are a lot of people out there that feel like me and that want to bash on Disney. Because I know I'll be the first to admit, I know that my opinion might not be public opinion for everybody, but I know there's people out there that definitely agree. No, well, the price for Disney now, and mind you, I have not been in there. I have not been there in a few years, so I'm not quite certain what the prices were. But I remember hearing, I read an article, I should say, not heard an article, about how some of the prices that they're charging now, and it's just for a daily admission ticket. And to me, it's like, wow, man, greedy much? And they were talking about, like I said, it's with Scarlett Johansson, it's, they're talking about how she's greedy, and it's like, dude, have you looked at the price of admission to your freaking parks? Come on. The average human being cannot afford to come there anymore. Rob says, well, I guess that I did not know. And that also makes sense why most people were bashing that then. Because if Disney owns most of the talk shows, they were told to bash upon that. So I totally see that. I can definitely see where that would have been. And I'm doing it right. So I could definitely see why their opinions were skewed, shall we call it. Okay, so what I heard was right then. I heard it was like $120 a day per person. I know when I took my kids there, and I think it's been 5 years now when I took my kids the last time to Disney. When we went, my jaw dropped on the price tag. And I'm not just talking about park entrance fees. I'm talking about the hotels. What we ended up doing is we ended up renting a house, because we were able to rent a house with, it was a 4-bedroom, living room, dining room, family room, enclosed, in-ground pool with a heated hot tub, 3 bathrooms. They turned the garage into a game room. It was freaking paradise. But we were able to rent that house for the week at Disney for $1,000. And at that point in time when we were going, and mind you, when we went, it was actually, I believe, what their busy season, if you will. But when we went, we were looking at staying at one of the resorts, or we had contemplated staying at one of the resorts until we found out the price tag. It was like $400 a night if you wanted to stay at one of the hotels that were on Disney. So you could just get up in the morning, hop on the tram, and go. And it was just no way in what that I was going to do that. And we didn't do that. And is that... I guess there's nothing to shove that into. And that's why we did the house, because like I said, I'm still amazed. And it's funny because renting that house, man, it was a gorgeous house. That's all I can say about it. That house was absolutely freaking amazing. But after getting the price on the house and then seeing how much it was for tickets and all that, and mind you, it was 4 of us. But at that point in time, I want to say, so we could have access to all the parks and the water parks and all that good stuff for 5 days, I want to say I paid something like $3,800, and that was just a, or no, wait a minute. Maybe it wasn't that much. Maybe it was $1,800. Either way, it was more to get into the parks than I paid for renting the house. And I thought, man, that's freaking crazy. I did not know that as well, Steve, that Disney owns ABC, Universal, and NBC. That does make a lot of sense, though. What bag am I on? I am on bag 11, so I only have one bag to go. I'm wondering what I did wrong here, though, because I'm going to pop this back open for a minute, because something doesn't feel right. Where's my handy-dandy little pick tool? There we go, let's use that. Because to me, that should stick in there somehow, and it's not sticking. And no, I guess it shouldn't stick in there. Let me make sure I didn't miss a piece, because to me, there should be something that would hold that in place. Give me one moment while I'm backtracking to make sure I did not screw up something. And I did miss something. I found it. I was going to say, because something's not right, man. That should be sliding in there and nice and tight and snug. And there we go. We found it. Okay. Now we can get back on track. Much, much better. There we go. Let's say, because there's no way that should be a loose part. Now let me get back to the front of the game. Back to the front. Whiskey probably knows what I'm saying when I say back to the front, but I don't know if a lot of people do. It's a Metallica song. And there we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Much, much better. Aaron says bag 11 is not bad. No, like I said, I'm almost done with it, and then I got to go to bag 12, and we are a go. On there, put this guy on here, put this little dude in here, and then we just have 3 little extra bits, and one of them rolled across the floor, and we don't need it, so that gives us that part just so we can see what this is looking like. And I just flicked one of these pieces off the bottom. Okay, maybe I didn't. Maybe I put something together wrong. No, that's together right. For some reason, though, that particular wheel is not biting on. We will come back to it later. Let's pop this guy together. There we go with that. Now let's pop this guy on here. If we can. There we go. Now we are on to the last bag. See, Whiskey Shred knows what I meant when I said back to the front. John Brock, how you doing? Whiskey says, just bought the Art of the Mandalorian book. It's a different ball game than the movies. Huh. I might have to look into that. But anyway, how are you, John Brock? This is probably going to be all the little builds I saw everywhere on the front of this. I have a feeling this bag will go rather quickly. Let's get it all dumped out. Oh, that's so freaking awesome. I didn't know that there was this little flag piece in there. I'm going to have to find that because I want to buy another one of those. But anyway, let's get some of these parts out of the way. And let's start throwing this bad boy together. It's the final countdown. Actually, this wasn't a bad build. I mean, all things considered, 1,900 pieces. And really, all in all, with me only building this during live streams, so I'm basically looking at, we'll say 3.5, maybe 4 hours tops. So for a build of this size, to me, that's not bad time at all. And to me, it was actually a rather enjoyable build, I have to say. And a lot of that is quite simply due to the fact that there is a lot of repetition, which to me is a good thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think it's very good. Repetition makes the build very quick and easy. And I'm surprised Beetlejuice Paulbot hasn't been in here yet. Just to give me a hard time. So we all know that the Paulbot loves to harass. 1, 2, 3, 4. We gotta do that 4 times. Aaron, I do plan on it, yes. I'm not sure what I will be doing in a live stream, though. But I do plan on live streaming tomorrow, yes. I mean, if I truly can, I try to stream every day. It's just not always a possibility. Just like I always hate to say specifically I'm doing something, but I do intend on streaming tomorrow. Unless something bad happens, basically. Greg said it only took me 8 minutes on the last bag. That's pretty impressive, then. Like I said, though, it really is. And I'm not complaining because I think this is a cool set, but it's a very repetitive build, which makes it actually easy and a lot quicker than what normally would be. There you go. It's like monsters. I'm watching you, Wazowski. Always watching. That's Paulbot. That would be from Monsters Inc. And let's see, they say push all these dudes in. So we'll push all those dudes in. And then we get to shove that up its rear. There we go. And boom, bada bing. Get a bit of gap. Aaron says, okay, should be good. Like I said, we'll see. He hasn't popped in yet. I'm actually still rather surprised. It's normally just mentioning of his name, and he jumps out of the... It's like, somebody say my name. Whiskey says, actually, I've been selling off all my sequel stuff. Lego Black Series, all of it. I'm happy about that. Really? See, I had thought about selling a lot of... You said sequel, not prequel. I was going to say, I've thought about selling some of my stuff off, but the problem is, as far as like my action figures and things of that nature, I just... doesn't seem to be a very good market. As far as the pricing, anyway. At least that's kind of my feeling on it. It just doesn't feel like a good price and a good time. And get on there. Trying to keep it together. There we go. That's one long freaking thing. That's all I can say. And now I'm assuming this is going to be the little water landing or lunar lander. Water landing. Water landing. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Why does that look goofy? There we go. Still looks goofy. That's why it looks goofy. It should be there. There we go. That looks better. It is a very good set, Jim. I totally will agree with you on that, because there is some very good techniques that a lot of people would never even think of as far as for building things in a round fashion like that. So absolutely, it's a very good price when you consider. I only paid $99 for mine. I think it generally retails for $120. But even the normal retail price of $120 for the fact that this might as well just let's just round it off and say it's got 2,000 pieces. And it's a lot of great pieces. It's not like it's garbage pieces, because there's times that I've bought sets and then I've looked at the parts that came with it, and it was just like, okay, and why did I do this? But this isn't one of those sets. This is one of those that I could honestly see me buying a couple of these just to get a lot of the different pieces. I really, really could. Just for these sloped pieces, it would be a very, very, very good set to buy for that. And it would keep your costs down. Jim, you're saying you got a bunch of these for $80? That is a smoking deal. And thank you, Aaron. He says, I can't wait for the city build. It's really kind of not a city build. I mean, I don't know if you watched the video or not, but there's going to be city aspects to it, I guess you could say. But, well, I guess it's kind of a city. Either way, though, I'm really excited to work on this particular display. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I am honestly just waiting for the deposit so that way I can start, because I have a massive amount of parts that I'm going to have to order for this, and I'm waiting for the deposit so I can start going crazy. I was going to start buying it ahead of time, but I'm afraid I'm one of those people that gets paranoid, I guess would be the best way to put it. And what I mean by paranoid is I'd hate to buy all that and then something happen, or them come back and say, you know what, maybe we changed our mind, or something along that line. And that's just how my mind works anyway. So that's why I am totally waiting until I get the deposit before I go nuts on purchasing. But I cannot wait to do it. And I am extremely excited about it for a lot of different reasons. I've never really done any space mock type things before, and with me doing this, I know it's really not space, but it still sounds like a lot of fun. And the fact that, because the first commission job I did was basically sets, and a lot of that was quite simply based upon the fact of trying to keep within a budget, which is just like this particular build is. It's trying to keep within a budget and still give them what they're looking for. But I'm really happy about this particular project, just for the simple fact that I have a lot of creative freedoms. I'm still having to do certain things like this. I'm using this as a set because it's saving me a little bit of money, and it's helping me stay down in the budget range that they're looking for, because when it comes to designing custom builds and things of that nature, when you start doing mocks, it can add up really quickly, and it's not so much that it costs a lot in parts per se. It's the time and everything that goes into it, trying to calculate it all out, figure it all out, and all those good things. So that's part of why we're kind of agreed that we're going to kind of do some sets, but then I'm also going to do some mocks. But the mock portion of it, that alone is what actually has me like beyond excited, because I think it's going to be very cool that I'm doing these custom builds, and then it's going to be somewhere, and somebody actually paid because they thought my mock was a really good mock design. So that is what excites me about it, the fact that somebody is paying for me to mock up an entire build. That's the excitement for me. And then the fact that I'm going to be able to illuminate the whole thing, it's just, I think it's going to be really freaking fun. And there we go. And I feel like I'm forgetting a part again. Let me double check, and I did. So that was to say, because I can't believe Lego would design it that way, and it's because they didn't. I skipped a page, and I forgot to put 2 parts in here. So now it will make more sense, and it will lock in place. There we go. Now it looks better. And Brick Sergeant gives the thumbs up. Thank you so much, my friend. Greg says, if you like what you're seeing. Oh, thank you. So that's what the thumbs up was. Okay, I get it now. And that went here. And that, now I get it. Somebody told me, and I feel like I missed another step. Let me double check myself. So I feel like that should be higher somehow. And it is. It's because I didn't put, there we go. But somebody told me, because I started doing some of the Throwback Thursday videos, and in that Throwback Thursday video, it was I did a video showing, oh, they give you a bunch of little space minifigs. That's freaking awesome. But they show you one of the techniques in the cop car video anyway, the police vehicle. It shows having a piece put in the ground like that. And I always thought it was funny because when I would do stuff like that, people would always tell me that, hey, that's an illegal build. And they said that no, it's not an illegal build. And if you look at the new Saturn set, they do it in this. And right there's the particular piece they were talking about. And I think that's absolutely awesome. Take care, Whiskey Shred. And Greg Bissett, thank you so much. He says, rock on, the commission builds will rock. And I hope so, because I mean, I'll be the first to admit I am a little nervous about it, because I've never built anything just on commission basis like that before. So I'll be the first to admit I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I am a little nervous about it, but I am also excited about it. But I guess I'm nervous about it just quite simply due to the fact that I've never done a huge mock for somebody to pay for it, and that's what kind of has me nervous about it. And this was supposed to go in first, and then we put that guy in there, and then we put this guy in there. And where see, I can't believe and it's because I did it backwards. There, that's better. So say I can't, because every time I do something, I think, you know what? There's no way that Lego is going to sell a set where it would fall apart that easy. And it's generally because I screwed up and forgot a piece. This is the flotation device. These, I can tell you right now, what I'm going to end up doing is using them on the inside of the museum. And I'm going to do some other builds as well with these, but I'm actually pretty excited. There we go. So now we got our little floaty. I have to say that for a little tiny build, that is very cool. And I'm still extremely impressed at, quite simply, the fact of the matter that they have so many printed tiles on these, or parts, and the print on them is just absolutely stellar. And if I would quit choking on a lot of this stuff and messing up, I would probably be done already. Get on there. Get in my belly, baby. The other white meat. Rob said, I was nervous as heck doing the vehicle design project earlier this year, but gave me a lot of experience that I can use in the future. And I I totally agree with you on that. And you did do an amazing job on that, because I saw that in Discord. That was a really, really freaking cool thing you did with that. And I wish I had the picture. I would share it real quick. But Rob did a really custom, cool paint job for an RC car, and somebody paid for that. And you're absolutely right, because the first commission I did for Axis, which is what this particular commission is going to be for as well, as Axis Corporation. But because I was nervous about that, and the funny thing was it was mainly sets, and it was because of the price range that they were aiming for. And this time it's not going to be mainly sets. It's going to be mainly, it's going to be a few sets, but it's going to be mainly mocks, which has made me nervous again. But I took a lot away from the first one that I did, and it actually taught me a lot. So I am excited about doing this as well, because I know, once again, I am going to learn a lot once again. So it is a very, very cool experience. So you are absolutely right in saying that, Rob. One small brick for Daryl. One giant piece for Lego art, or for a Lego set. I like that. Greg said it was wicked, and thank you. I appreciate that. Aaron says he's got to put some new shelves in his cupboard. Is that for your display, I'm assuming, then, Aaron? That was a real full-sized vehicle? See, I on it, and I guess I looked at it wrong then. I really thought, because that looked like a freaking, that looked like an RC car that I would have drove, is what I thought when I looked at that picture. It was so classy and clean. I really, really thought that was an RC car. It just, I don't know, something about it. It looked like an RC car, and it's because I used to see a lot of professional RC cars like that. I did not know that was an actual car, Aaron, so Rob, so I apologize for that. And thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate it. But like I said, I truly thought that was an RC car. And hi, JJ. Now that makes me want to show it off even more, Rob. Like I said, I thought that was an RC car in that picture, because it reminded me of like the Traxxas RC cars. Because that's what when I stopped messing around with them anyway, that was what I messed with a lot. And how do I have so many freaking extra pieces? I missed something somewhere. I shouldn't have that many little gold pieces. So let me scan back. And I see where I screwed up. Each one of these. Don't you hate it when you choke a build? Because I get it, I'm going to have a few extra pieces, but not as many as I'm seeing. That looks much better. And then I see where these go. I got to put them under there. See, I get the jab in my jaws too much, and then I miss stuff. And now let me pop that back off, because this has got to have. So I was almost done until I realized I screwed up. this goes on there, and then this goes on there. I love it when a plan comes together. Absolutely, never too old to learn. The best policy that anybody could possibly have is to try and learn something new every day. And that is something I try to live by, because it keeps life interesting, man. It keeps life very, very interesting, to say the least. Now let's put it back. Now it's together the right way. Spin me, Taylor. I'm just going to stick all these guys on here, even though we don't need them all on there. And now I believe that just those 5 little parts are extra. But let's see if we can get this guy. Let me double check where I'm looking at putting it. Here. Put one here, here, and here. Am I looking at that right? Let's see if it goes on that way. So they're saying I should be able to put one here, one here, and another one there. And mind you, this is not going to stay that way. This is just what they give you to use it as a display. And I popped off. That piece goes there. There we go. Now, keep in mind that I am going to be working on building a launch platform. So this is actually what's going to be going up next to it. But that's how the set comes. We're going to be modifying it to its fullest. You liked Liam Nielsen's take on George Peppard? Absolutely. Got to keep the mind ticking. Hannibal Smith, Hannibal Lecter. But no, you're right. You absolutely never get too old. And I did that in under an hour. So I'm gonna go high and say this took me 3.5 hours to build, because I generally try to stop my streams at an hour. So really, to me, for a 1900 piece set in 3.5 hours, like I said, I'm gonna go high. I think that's pretty good, and I think it's a very cool build, to say the least. I love the fact that it actually breaks down, even though, like I said, this is getting used on my commission job, and this will never come apart. If it comes apart, it's because somebody bumped it and knocked it apart. But this is how it's going to stay, and this is how it's going to get displayed, but it's going to be displayed upright. I do think it's cool. Now, mind you, it would have cost an arm and a leg, but it would have been better if you could have supported it and had a stand like this. But it's still very cool, and there we go, that you can pull this apart also, if you want, into the segments. And I just dropped one of the pieces, if I can grab it here. But I think that's really neat that it comes apart that way. So I can see why a lot of people would really find this as a very cool set. It is very neat. Something I thought was funny is because when I was building this, it actually to me appeared like this was in the first section of the shuttle, but I didn't realize that this was actually something that you built at a later date. But to me, the way that they do the little piece inside of here, and I wonder if I can find the instructions just to show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, this page right here. When I was building this page right here, that is what I actually thought was supposed to be this at first when I was looking at it. Just tell me that does not look a great deal like that should be the lunar lander. And I agree with you. I love that it's all printed tiles. I think it's freaking awesome. And it's rare that Lego does that. And what actually surprises me about the fact that all this stuff is printed is the price of the set, and they printed that on there. It's wow. It's all I can say, because the fact that they actually print that on a set of this price tag, it seems pretty rare. It seems like a lot of times they're doing a lot of the bigger sets, and they're doing them with sticker sheets, and it always annoys me. But yet here you have a $120 set, and you have all these great printed USA, United States, you have the flag and all that stuff, and it's just like, why can't you do that with every set if you can do it for a set like this? Oh, I can't wait for the platform to be done either, Aaron. I'm like a nervous wreck and I'm waiting to order the parts so I can fly through putting that together. Rob says, I really like the look of that launch tower section. I might, and thank you, I might have to downsize it just a little bit. We'll see what happens. But my goal, if I can, is because the actual launch tower had, if I'm not mistaken, it was a total of 12, it's either 10 or 12 of these sections. And then at the very bottom, it kind of scoots out. And if I build it this way, and I like it because it's adding texture by having all these little pieces, I'm trying to give it the appearance like it really is, where it's like bulging out in the different spots. And keep in mind that piece is the wrong color. But then I'm even adding in the little stairs and stuff in for it. And I'll be putting little like disconnect panels and things like that. There's a lot of little details I'm going to be adding as I go. But my big thing is this outer ledge might change because I want to make this to have at least 10 of these. And with doing 10 of these, this might be too tall. I'm not sure. I won't know until I actually build it. So this might be one of those situations where I build something, don't like it, rip it apart, and start over again. More printed pieces is always the best. Aaron says the anticipation is killing me. Anyway, though, guys, because I have streamed for an hour, I got the build done, so I think I'm going to call it a night. After my my forte with the bat and then building this, I'm kind of whipped. And hopefully we will start this again tomorrow and have some more fun. But, and why do I, there we go. As I like to always do, I like to roll that beautiful bean footage be at the end of my stream so I can give special credit to all those that supported the stream. And I believe this particular stream was just Brick Sargent. And I thought that was it. Oh, Greg Bissett, that's right. You did $2. So give a very special thank you to both Brick Sargent and Greg Bissett. Sorry, I'm a little tongue twisted because I'm a little tired. But I will talk to you guys either in Discord or tomorrow. And like I said, I am going to try and stream tomorrow. But as always, thank you for coming to Bevan's Bricks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share below. And I hope you have an awesome day. And